Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. I've traveled a long way to be with you all today. I'm honored to address this group concerning innovation in healthcare. But I am not a physician. I don't hold any graduate degrees. But I so came to envy doctors and specifically oncologists that I set out to become one of them. Please notice something subtle that will soon become obvious. I haven't defined the term I. My academic training was extreme. With the help of my computer and some other resources, I've read every leading oncology textbook. I have read every issue published by the American Society of Clinical Oncology, the European Society of Medical Oncology, the American Society of Radiology Oncology, and the Radiological Society of North America. I've read every major research paper in the field as published in Google Scholar and the PubMed databases. Those papers number in the hundreds of thousands. And as astronomers cannot perform their science without light and other sources on the electromagnetic spectrum, oncology too needs special lenses to see the inner workings and the inner world of cancer. So I reviewed hundreds of millions of anonymized patient scans and their clinical histories so that I too could see as an oncologist sees. Now I'm able to perform sophisticated analysis of cancer imaging and give therapeutic recommendations based on the entire published literature in oncology. Let me show you an example. So we input into the system a single snapshot image of a CT scan with this prompt: evaluate the lung for any indications of cancer. And this is what the system puts out. So as you can see, it's measuring the tumor, finding nothing in the right lung, giving an impression, and then giving recommendations. And then because of our audience today, it might be hard to see with the TV down here, I say, translate to Slovak, please. And it produces the same report. And it can do this in over 150 different languages. And I should add that these images have been read with what may be better resolution and care than could ever be approached by a human, however gifted. These scans are read at the level of the pixel as well as the level of the picture, which is the human level of granularity. I'm able to answer questions and deliver a fully developed radiological report in generally about 90 seconds after being presented with the task. In a good US hospital, my sister, after a bad car accident and possible brain injury, had to wait 6 hours for the CT scan report. And I'm sure many of you have heard stories of delay as bad or worse than that. Some, maybe most of you, are surely aware that I accomplished my superhuman feat with help, and you are correct. I used augmented artificial intelligence to do the reading and review the images. I hold no medical degree, but I'm okay at computing. But I'd like you for a moment to imagine what this could mean. First, speed. An oncologist, within minutes, can retrieve patient images alongside a deeply informed radiological report, thereby expediting the commencement of any necessary therapies and treatments. Dr. Alexander Pearson, an associate professor of medicine at the University of Chicago, points out that an analysis of an assay of tissue using traditional chemical stain methods on a slide might take days. AI-assisted analysis on that same piece of tissue is nearly instantaneous. It may take minutes to scan and seconds to analyze. Second, scale. We can now leverage insights from millions of prior cases for every single patient, extending world-class medical imaging and treatment to regions previously underserved. Harvard Medicine, the magazine of Harvard Medical School, in their spring issue of this year said that training a radiologist for years is time-consuming and expensive. Meanwhile, the sheer quantity of radiological image data has surpassed the number of experts available to analyze it. One study found that a radiologist would need to interpret an image every 3 to 4 seconds, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, just to keep up. It's simply impossible. The third most incredible point about AI in medicine is accuracy. How good are these systems? Again, from Harvard Medicine this year, Dr. Michael Liu of Massachusetts General Hospital has developed a computer vision model trained on 40,000 asymptomatic patients in a lung cancer screening trial. His system could identify people at a high risk of developing cancer years into the future with impressive accuracy beyond the current lung cancer guidelines in the United States. And while we rightly worry about whether these systems are accurate, 2 points should be kept in mind. One, we have successfully automated many aspects of medicine. Red blood cell counts used to be determined by having a person sit there and count them. Technology rightly applied has been a boon to medicine. Two, it's very, very important to keep in mind that AI-assisted systems are being compared to humans. Now, I don't want to cast a shadow on all of humanity, but one study suggests we are not comparing AI to perfect humans. None of us are. In another study, Jeremy Wolf, a Harvard Medical School professor of ophthalmology, and his colleagues had radiologists look at 5 sets of CT scans. Each set was a group of lungs. They were asked to count the nodules, cancerous nodules that they found. Buried in a CT scan, which is about anywhere from 100 to 500 images, in 10 images, there was a gorilla that they added into the image, just a picture of a gorilla. 83% of the radiologists in this study missed the gorilla. It's a staggering study. Speed, scale, and accuracy. The potential advantages of AI in diagnostics were unimaginable until 2022, as I'll explain in a moment. Many have long been engaged in applying machine learning to healthcare challenges, and I salute their efforts. Yet, these endeavors represent what I've termed AI Wave 1. This initial wave was characterized by individual entities developing bespoke algorithms and laboriously coding line by line to teach computers to read and see and understand massive data sets. On the 30th of November 2022, we transitioned to AI Wave 2, with OpenAI's introduction of its large language model, which I'm sure many of you are very familiar with. It used, at that point, the most extensive data set humanity had ever seen, the entire internet up to 2019. A newer model, updated in March of 2023, improved its functionality and was current through December of 2022. Now, with these large models require substantial computing resources, suggesting potential impacts even on our water supply due to the need for cooling data centers. But while there are physical problems associated and that need to be solved with providing power and water to these systems, it has removed the most significant barrier to breakthroughs. The massive labor needed to construct the underlying infrastructure of these learning machines has been done and has been made available to the public. And on May 13th of this year, OpenAI released ChatGPT 4 Omni. I worked with it in the days leading up to it coming out and the day it worked out, and it is a significantly more capable AI than the first one that I used to create my system. I have, of course, updated all of my data with the new engine, which, by the way, and you saw, appears to be at least 3 times faster than the previous versions in diagnosing cancers from 90 seconds down to about 30. We're developing similar systems for cardiology, neurology, and orthopedics. Welcome to Wave 2. Let me quickly cite 2 examples in the past 12 months that have advanced significantly with the power of AI. In astronomy, Google AI, in collaboration with the University of Texas, utilized neural networks to unearth new planets from the Kepler Space Telescope data that had previously escaped humans trying to read that data. It was right there, but they missed it. Just as with cancer, astronomers can now see what humans cannot. In protein mapping, the landscape has been revolutionized by DeepMind's AlphaFold, where they have predicted the structures of hundreds of thousands of proteins, significantly accelerating drug discovery and our understanding of biological processes. I'm confident that I hardly need to make the point that is present in your minds already. We stand on the verge of a new epoch in human history. Nowhere will this be more precious to humanity than in the fields of medicine and healing. A friend of mine returned from a 2-day conference in Washington, D.C. and was briefed on my application. She said, "Thank God somebody is trying to use AI to save lives as opposed to better aim weapons at humans." In cardiology, AI-driven technologies such as those developed by Ultramics are revolutionizing how we diagnose heart disease. They analyze echocardiograms with greater precision than ever before, and these tools enable the early detection of subtle signs of heart conditions, leading to timely and targeted treatments that improve patient survival rates. In ophthalmology, Google's AI system for diagnosing diabetic retinopathy, tested in clinics worldwide, provides highly accurate diagnoses, surpassing or matching top human specialists. It proves particularly vital in underserved regions, significantly reducing the incidence of vision loss due to late detection. I also foresee hope for the treatment of rare diseases. Expertise is limited, and patient numbers are too small for traditional clinical trials. AI can aggregate global data and unearth patterns and suggest treatments that no single doctor could ever hope to determine alone, no matter how gifted. My hope to you in this address is twofold. One, I want you to see that the rate of change in medicine and healthcare is about to and has been accelerating at what may previously have been an unimagined speed. This is a very, very steep inflection point in humanity. AI Wave 2 is a tsunami, and it can be the most powerful constructive force in the field of medicine since the antibiotic. It won't take years of effort and teams of AI specialists to deliver these tools. My second hope in this address is something more profoundly important: the ethical imperative we face as we deploy AI in healthcare. As we stand on the cusp of this new era, our minds set on fire for the possibilities that was once impossible can now be done in weeks. Our responsibilities extend beyond technical innovation. We must also safeguard the ethical standards we deploy as we deploy these powerful tools in healthcare. We're building systems that touch on the most intimate level of personal data. We cannot allow it to be treated with the same disregard as data has been over the last 20 years. We're creating systems that run the profound risk of algorithmic bias that could continue to exclude underserved persons from the insights that these techniques could unearth. We're creating systems that can never be allowed to trample our humanity, our caring, and our need to heal souls as well as bodies. Albert Einstein is credited with the now obvious warning that our technology has far exceeded our humanity. The EU has done a far, far better job than my home country at regulating the excesses of big technology in the fields of privacy and competition. The world needs your leadership now in medical innovation and in preventing its excesses from undermining the good we do. We must be bound by the prime directive of medicine. First, do no harm. Let our legacy not only be the diseases we cure and the lives we save, but the trust we build and the ethical standards we set. Let's ensure that as we push the boundaries of what's possible, we remain anchored in what's right. Thank you.